afternoon everybody, Calm Biker here, out on the Tomato, the Trundling Tomato, the Trundling Tomato. Today it's the testing tomato, not that it's testing me, I'm testing it. Hot on the heels of the Holes video, I'm trying out the repaired tyre. I said about how I couldn't get the tyre off using my old tyre changing machine because the axle on the Honda is too small, so the hole in the wheel is too small, it won't fit on my machine. I thought, what do? I want to ride my bike. So I had a look around on the internet for other ideas, and I saw quite a few, but one that took my fancy, because I like their product so far, was the ABBA bead breaker. And they had a little set, it was the ABBA bead breaker and tyre lever set. Now tyre levers, that's something you use as a kid, isn't it, to take the tyres off your bicycle. So I'm a bit wary about tyre levers and the damage that they might do. But it came with a set of rim protectors as well, so I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And it was quite interesting. I'll have to do a demonstration of the bead breaker when I get to change the tyres, which probably won't be too far off because the tyres on this are pretty squared off. Certainly on the back it's pretty squared off, and I'll probably get a pair of tyres when it comes to replace them, and probably get road focused tyres rather than 80/20s. I don't think 80/20s are particularly off-roady anyway, and I definitely don't want to get full off-roady ones, so I might as well get on-road tyres because that's where I do 99% of my riding. If you've been with me a while, you'll know how how trying off-road riding worked for me. It hurt a lot and it got me off a bike for quite a while. So on-road it will be. But anyway, yeah, so the bead breaker was quite interesting. I thought, here's a little cheapy thing compared to the other one. The bead breaker on its own is about 60 quid, I think. So I wasn't expecting a great deal, but it didn't involve anything going through the hole where the axle goes through the wheel, so I thought, well, it should work. But actually, as a bead breaker, it's far better than the Max 2H one. Instead of, with a Max 2H, you've got kind of a lever you have to pull down, and that lever has like an angled piece of metal attached to it that actually does the breaking of the bead. But because it can move depending on the size of tyre you're doing, you have to secure it to the post with like a screw that you just tighten up, which means it actually tends to wobble a little bit and slide around a little bit, which makes it really awkward because you want it to be as close to the wheel as possible to make it easy to pop the bead off, but you don't want it so close that it slips and damages your wheel. Whereas the ABBA one doesn't use a lever at all. Basically it's got a big screw thread thing with a plate on the bottom that's curved to fit in with the tyre, and you kind of just screw it round and round and round, which actually means it's really easy because you're not having to lever it either, you're just using the power of screwing. That sounds very wrong, doesn't it? But I guess it's a bit like the jack that comes for free in your car, you know, where you turn it round and it makes it very easy to lift a car up. Certainly a lot easier than it would be just trying to lever it off the ground, you know. And the tyre lever as well, it was very old school, just using tyre levers, but the rim protectors, which I expected because they're made of plastic would shatter immediately, held up very well. And the levers, although it was fiddly, the levers were alright, you know, did the job, no damage done to the wheel, and everything seems okay. I put a new tyre valve in as well, and I used the long kind of lever arm thing to pull that in. I don't like that at all anymore. I demonstrated that a long time ago when I helped Danny change his valve stems on his tyre when he did his gorilla tyre change method, one of the one of the most amusing videos I think I've ever been involved in making. But certainly the gorilla method is not the method I would ever recommend for changing tyres. I'll put a link to it, but if you haven't seen it before, don't do it. It's changing your tyres with the help of an angle grinder, so you know. But yeah, it wasn't too bad at all, and the amount of sweating I did with a Max 2H, there was none of that at all with just tyre levers and this thing. So I'm just doing a little ride here, trying to spot my overtaking point for the horses, and just to test it out, see if it holds the air better than it was doing before. But yep, the Tomato is back on the road, trundling, tootling, tottering, testing, touring. I don't know what type of tomato it is yet, but it'll be somewhat with a T. Tomato, because it's Yorkshire. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.